If you're scared of the dark, if you hear voices when you're alone, if you've ever felt something watching you from the back seat, then stop listening now. I mean it. Because once this story starts, you won't sleep tonight. And if you do, you might not wake up. Last chance. Turn this off. Still here? All right. You asked for it. This happened to a trucker named Dale in 2013. Real dude. Real route. Real horror. He was driving through New Mexico, hauling freight down Highway 54. One-lane blacktop, middle of nowhere. No lights, no cars, just miles of empty silence. But that night, something was wrong. First, it was the static on the radio. Then the headlights flickered. Then he saw it, a figure standing in the middle of the road. No face, just a black silhouette. He slammed the brakes. But when the truck stopped, it wasn't there anymore. Dale got out, walked around the truck. Nothing, not a soul. But when he climbed back in, there were wet footprints on the passenger side. He didn't pick up no one. The doors were locked. The air was freezing. And then, the whisper started. Not in the radio, not outside. From the CB radio. A voice, raspy like someone choking on blood, said, "Keep driving, don't stop. Not this time." Dale froze. The voice wasn't his. And it sure as hell wasn't coming from another trucker. He looked in the rearview mirror and saw eyes staring back at him. Blood red, not human. He turned fast, heart slamming against his ribs. No one was there. But the whisper came again, closer this time. "Turn off the lights. Let me see you." That's when Dale hit the gas, pedal to the floor. The engine screamed. The highway bent and twisted like a nightmare. Something was chasing him, not on the road, above him, a shape with no wings, no face, just a long shadow, gliding above the truck like a vulture made of night. Its presence was so heavy, Dale said it felt like his chest was being crushed by invisible hands. The shadows stretched into the cab, clawing at his skin, cold as grave soil. He couldn't scream. His voice stuck in his throat like it knew something worse would hear him. The radio went dead. Then the GPS started screaming, literally screaming. A woman's voice crying for help. It sounded like his mother, like she was being torn apart. And the road, it was gone, just black, a tunnel with no end. Dale screamed. He said it felt like the truck wasn't touching the ground anymore, like he was driving straight into hell. The smell of burning hair and rotting meat filled the cabin. The steering wheel jerked on its own. Something was trying to take control. Then, just like that, it stopped. He woke up in the cab. Sunlight, parked on the side of the road. No footprints, no blood, no shadow. But here's the twist. He'd lost 7 hours. The logbook was torn to pieces. The dashboard had a single word scratched into it: stay. Dale quit that day, sold the truck, moved to Maine, never drove again. But every year on that same date, he says he hears that whisper. Keep driving. Don't stop. Not this time. You still think this is just a story? Then tell me, what's that standing behind you right now? He didn't stop for gas. He didn't stop for food. He hadn't even blinked in the last mile. The road was a thread in the dark, thin, fraying. The world outside the headlights didn't exist. It was just blackness, thick and pulsing, like it had a heartbeat. It pressed against the glass like it wanted in. Todd gripped the wheel like it was holding him together. His jaw clenched. His teeth ached from it. The humming of the tires had become a voice. It didn't say words, it breathed, moaned. Sometimes, it laughed. He hadn't seen another car for hours. Not since he left the service station with that map he never asked for, handed to him by a man with hands too long and nails too clean. The man hadn't blinked. His eyes were all pupil, and when he smiled, his gums bled. The map only had one road and one note: don't stop. But he had to. Gas light blinking, engine stuttering, then a light ahead, a station. Not on the map. No logo, no price signs, no cars, no people. Just a glow. Pale yellow, like something sick trying to smile. He pulled in. The lights flickered like they were remembering how to be alive. One of them popped, and the glass didn't fall. It hung in the air, trembling. He stepped out. The air smelled like burnt pennies and wet hair. Then came the sound, a scraping, from inside the pump, like something with bones and claws trying to get out. He backed up. The pump burst open, nothing inside, just a mirror. He saw himself, but he was smiling and bleeding from the eyes. The reflection moved before he did. It raised a hand, pointed behind him. He turned. A man, pale, mouth stretched into a grin too wide, wearing Todd's jacket. "You left me," it hissed, voice wet and dragging like something pulled from a grave. Todd ran, doors locked, truck roared, barely. The key felt hot, the wheels sticky, like it remembered other hands. He hit the road again, but the sky was wrong. Too many moons. None of them in the sky. They hovered along the road like eyes, watching, following, blinking in patterns he could feel in his bones. CB radio buzzed. A voice like gravel in blood said, "Mile 113, you die." He checked the odometer. Mile 109, then 110, then 111. The radio cut out. The lights died. Then silence. No engine, no road, no truck, just air. He was floating, or falling, couldn't tell. The stars were below him, the clouds had teeth. Then the road was back, only it wasn't road, it was teeth. Paved in teeth, chewed, cracked. Human. He screamed, but no sound came out. The wheel was gone, the seatbelt was hands, holding him, digging in, fingers like nails, nails like bone. And something crawled up through the air vent. A voice in pieces. "You were supposed to stop for me." It sounded like his own voice, but strangled. Old, rotten, his ears bled. The windshield cracked, then melted, revealing the station again. But now, it was breathing. Every window an eye, every pump a mouth. And the sign, "Next time, bring him back." A shadow walked out from behind the sign. It had his face, but no mouth. Just a scream stretched across the skin. He passed out, woke up parked, truck cold, tank full. But the map was gone, and in the seat beside him, a second pair of keys, still wet. He'd been driving for 19 hours straight. Coffee gone, cigarettes out, eyes bloodshot, twitching like broken wires under his skin. His brain felt like warm jelly trapped inside a cracked skull, every thought bleeding into the next. It was 2:47 a.m. when the exit sign appeared. No number, just one word: rest. He didn't remember that sign, but it wasn't the sign. Something deeper pulled at his nerves, tightening inside his chest like an invisible noose. His hands moved on their own, stiff and trembling, like they belonged to someone else, someone desperate, lost beneath his flesh. The road grew narrower, too narrow, not just squeezing the truck. It felt like the asphalt itself was breathing, inhaling and exhaling, alive and hungry. The trees weren't just dead. They were grotesquely twisted, like the forest had been strangled and frozen in silent screams. Their branches didn't just scratch the trailer. They stroked it slow and wet, like tasting raw flesh. He parked, engine off, then silence. Real silence, thick and suffocating. No bugs chirping, no wind rustling, only a wet, heavy breathing. Not human, not animal. Too vast, too close. He stepped out. The headlights flickered once, twice, then spat a sharp crack and died. Behind him, nothing. But the mirror showed a man, standing too still, too thin, smiling. His face was upside down, but the eyes blinked normally, eerily calm. Dale spun. No one. Back to the mirror. The man was now in the passenger seat, frozen, mouth moving silently like a twisted marionette. He dove in, slammed the doors, locked everything tight. The engine refused to turn. The dashboard screen cracked spiderweb-like. The cab shrank, warmth crushing him, suffocating him in his own skin. Then came the crawling. Slow, deliberate. Inside the sleeper cab, scratching, scraping, like fingernails dragging across dry bone. A whisper slid through the stale air. "You left me in there." He yanked the curtain, nothing but shadows. But the smell, rotting fur, decaying flesh, something once alive now melted from the inside out. He turned back to the windshield. It was gone, not shattered, devoured, replaced by an endless black wall, slick and breathing. A mouth, wide and hungry, exhaling icy death across his face. "Sleep in my throat," it whispered. Then, boom! A flash of hellfire lit the cab. The GPS blinked frantically, screaming, "Turn around! Turn around!" His hands weren't his anymore. They twisted the wheel, cold and sure. The truck reversed itself, sliding backward like a nightmare unspooling. The CB radio buzzed, a child's voice panicked and trembling. "It's eating us!" A wet squelch followed, final. The fuel tank thumped, banged from within. Something inside pounding, desperate, pleading. The rig jerked violently, then slammed down hard like a dead body dropped from a height. The trailer door creaked open, slowly. In the mirror, something slithered out. No feet, no legs, a face like Dale's, but the eyes hollowed out, carved deep. The mouth sewn shut, stitched tight with cruel black thread. He blacked out. When he woke, the truck sat on an empty overpass. Cold, dead, silent. On the steering wheel, fingernail scratches etched deep. 4 words, "Next time, no exit." And in the mirror, the thing hadn't left. It was closer, closer than ever.